Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. So, there is an intelligence that is beating your heart, and it beats it at a constant rate, almost 70 beats, 80 beats, whatever it may be. So this intelligence is there. And then you have what you think is another intelligence, which is mental intelligence, mental knowledge. Now, if you had to pick one, the one that is regulating your breath, making your blood flow, all of this happening, versus that which you think you know about the world and how you think you're running your life. Already the way I'm saying it, I know what you're doing. I know that your question will come, so why will I have to pick one? But suppose you did, and one would go and the other would stay. Which one will you pick? Now, the trick is that we feel like this intelligence, which is running this body, but it is also running all of what we call the world. The trees are growing, the flowers are flowering, the fruits are coming, the seasons are changing, gravity is working, electricity is working. All of this is working in a beautiful way. But this is the way that the head cannot understand, that the mind cannot understand. Now the trouble is that we think that this is limited. So for a moment, if we call it this intuitive intelligence, the intelligence of our intuitive being, intuitive presence, you see, in the design of this play, it can feel like this is limited and it needs to be amplified with mental constructs. But what seems to happen is that instead of it getting amplified, it seems to just make it noisy and troublesome. So the substratum of our existence is this very intelligence. But somehow in the human condition, it seems like we've gotten addicted to or used to thinking that we are running our life through the mental mechanism, whereas it is just not true. The minute you start to think about it, you may delude yourself into believing that you are getting closer to the truth, but actually you are just distorting or attacking the truth. So the trick is that the way of truth is very, very simple. So even the slightest complication, including the slightest complication about decision making and choice, all of that comes from our minds. It's a good tip because you can smell the complexity of trying to resolve something, fix something. Know that inevitably life is not a problem for you to resolve. It's not a puzzle. It's not a job that you piece together. And there is nothing missing. It is always fully. That's why the series are simple. the simplest. But they can seem super unpredictable to the mind, even strange. Because the mind is used to complexity, or it's a cellular. So if you didn't have to resolve anything, there was nothing to be fixed. What is that which is valuable that you would lose? If you give your problem solving a rest for a moment, are you not here? There's something missing. And the mind will keep proposing problems. But how can I stay like this? Most commonly, yes, there's nothing right now. But when I go to work or when I'm in my relationship situation, how can I keep? Already it is a false framing. See, and the minute you buy into these false problems, you get into fixing them. Popular false problem, probably in the world of Advaita, is who is the doer or not. The minute you buy into that framing, you're already stuck. You can spend a few lifetimes figuring out that this whole problem is fake. Because the option is not there. Like, who is the doer? Is this a multiple choice question? No. So what are like the problem of the mind will give you the framing of the problem saying you have to understand whether there is God's will or whether there is free will. You have to understand whether you have free will or whether there is only God will. But in the framing of the question, you already created two. So you buy into the notion and you are stuck. So then you can say, do I have free will or just God will? But really the problem is, are there two? If there is free will, then whose will it? Similar fake problem is this. How can I do this? How can I stay like this? You can't. You are this. You are. Do you have to stay as that? What you always are? You don't have to. So don't buy into these fake notions. So all this fake problem solving is what makes the seeker identity. And at the end of the seeming play of solving these problems, you may become a philosopher and an intellectual, but you will never become free. Then is return to simplicity. But if you have a strong ego, then you will refuse to give up on your investment into fake problems. You think that you have arrived at some gold after a lot of digging, and someone comes in, all this digging was pointless, and what you thought was gold is really thin. You will not like that if you've invested in that. So we have invested in our false conclusions, and we want to fit the truth in the paradigm of these false conclusions. That's why many times when you especially if they come to satsang, what happens is that they can seem to enjoy satsang if I am confirming their belief system. But the minute I start to shake it up a bit inside, I don't know. You see, so basically that we're full of doubt. We're just looking for the world or someone in the world to confirm our belief system, thinking that we are found. But the fact is that at that layer of the intellect, of the mind, there is no truth to be found. Truth is much simpler than that. It is not how to get to the truth. Just do the simplest thing you can do. You will get to the truth. It's the simplest thing you can do. Just be. So just one simpler than that. Yes. Okay, one step simpler than even that, like you have to see. You have to be just not even that simple. Just one. That's not like simply nothing. You see, because nothing is also not even that much work. Like, I'm doing nothing. Don't even do nothing. That is when you transcend your intellect. Because in the boundary of our intellect, it's a beautiful, simple exercise. Boundary of our intellect, we have nothing and everything. At one boundary is nothing, at the other is everything. So don't even settle for the edge of your intellect. Just and the proposer of false problems will come to you with problems to solve. Just don't have to do that which is beating your heart, which is growing the tree, which is making the sun alive, and take care of this. This is the way of the truth. It is a way very simple. You cannot understand this way. You cannot even see it. You are it. So what is instant freedom? Before the instant freedom. How to keep it? You don't burden yourself with the notion of what did I get or am I there yet? Can it be it? All this egotism. If you don't burden yourself with this egotism of trying to get something out of your spirituality, then you get chasing it with these blinkers on. Yes, we have some trouble with our bandwidth today because then this part. We'll see if we can have it fixed by tomorrow. What we could do to help is if everyone can turn off their video, then maybe the bandwidth could be easier on the Zoom. So I was saying yesterday to someone that 99% of spirituality is recognizing the mind. What does it mean to recognize the mind? See that this speaker in my head, this voice in my head, is not a true representative of reality. It is like a shape maker. You are empty actually of all shape right now. No shape. But every thought is proposing a shape to you. And you can see it. So you buy into this mythical shape and we call it me. So that is what is called ego. The mythical shape of me. No shape right now. Shape means separation. Shape means identity. Shape means me and you, me and mine, me and other. Including all shapes. Disciple and master, my satsang, my spirituality, my truth. All of these are also subtle shapes. Whatever notion you pick up is a shape. But you cannot there is light on the router. There is light, but there is not. It is empty of the notion of internet. Yet the light is on. Say something. So your shapelessness is actually unavoidable because right now, any moment I click, it works. It is impossible for it not to work. Siri responded to the click. It's like the mind. It's like, I'm absolutely fine, but it comes and says, what can I help you with? And this fake problem then comes up. Oh, yeah. Can you give me some freedom, please? Read this book first. For a while, it can seem like we need courage. For a while, it seems like we need trust. For a while, it even seems like we need some effort to let go. But it is that effort which Bhagavan said to keep the heavy back down from our heads. Also can seem like it is the habit of carrying it. The effort to not, not get lured by the magnetism of the mind, the attraction of the thoughts and the shape. And for the seeker, the most attractive shape in a way could be the enlightened shape. You'll hurt yourself from there. So the enlightened shape could be the most attractive but the starting point itself is enlightenment. It sounds very strange, but actually it is not. The same truth, in fact, beyond presence. So your freedom, enlightenment, truth, reality, all the good stuff is already always there. It's like you're swimming in gold, but then you feel like you have to dig for it or something. If you dig, you will only get mud. You get the metaphor? The metaphor of digging, what I'm saying right now is to, if you try to dig inside your mind, you will only get mud. The looking for the truth has been a false looking. Has been a false looking. Your starting point was already the truth. Before your intention to look for the truth, only the truth was. Before the intention to make yourself into something, you were just what you are. And it's not just about me. So looking for the truth makes a looker out of you. All the confirmation that you need is already with you. Your very existence is the confirmation. I'm looking for my Atman. You could say I'm just tired of this ego. I want my true being. I'm looking for my Atman. But will you accept a simple question like, can you stop being? Like you are. Now, if you don't want anything out of that discovery, then you are free. In an instant, if there is no selfishness involved, if there is no attachment to the fruits of this, you are free. You want God, then you stop being. There it is. You want the absolute? Are you not aware of this being? That awareness is the absolute. But if you try to make worldly meaning out of this discovery, again, if you try to hold on to it, you can make any conclusion about this. It could be don't let the peddler of falsity convince you with these plain emotional lies. But I wanted something more. That which is never been had a look at this is selling the notion of something more. There is nothing greater in this universe than your being. But that which is just a tiny aspect of your existence only understands the tininess, so obviously it will say, is that it? Your own magnificence it cannot understand. And that which is aware of this being is so beyond our limited comprehension that if we rely on this intellectual comprehension to make a verdict about it, we say, I got nothing. So don't use these tools to judge reality. Use your intuition. In your heart, what you found. something or nothing. It is beyond the boundary. Your intuition does not have these limitations. So, what is the master's expression then? The master's expression then is just that expression that comes closest to sharing this intuition with as little noise as possible. Sharing this intuitive knowledge with as little noise as possible is called the external form of the master. It is the same intuitive presence, which is your very being, but we are in reverence or service to the master because they come closest to expressing this, see, which really cannot be expressed, but comes closest to expressing this with as minimal noise as possible, and that's why they're called pointers. You see that they're pointing us to this, which is inexpressible. And because they are just pointing, that's why all the expressions of various masters can also seem a bit different. It is not possible to express this self-knowledge or intuitive knowledge in words. And also, very much the job is to do a cleanup for your preconditioning, your conditioning, vasana, whatever you call them. It's basically your belief system which needs to be cleaned up. So the master is free to use opposite statement depending on what condition you may have. If you have the condition that truth is to my left, the master will say go right. If you have the condition that truth is to my right, the master will go left. So is truth to the left or right? Master said go right. Said also go. So like Guruji says, not really answering the question, you're just answering the question of what conditions seem to exist in that particular frame of this consciousness. The answer is not meant to be an answer, it's meant to be the cleaning agent. To whatever you think you know, whatever you think you are right. That we can return to our simplicity. Actually, even if you use your memory for a bit and you look back at your life and you think about all the things you resolved mentally, all the things that life just took care of, again you will pick your intuition out in your mind. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time and I met my master. These kind of things you will come across in every life. You do not plan for them. You do not have to think about them. That very intelligence, whether you call it grace, divine presence, it's all the same. So what am I actually saying? I'm just saying that. And the rest of it is just in response to any doubt. It is but. Yes, yes. On on this tape while you're talking, you just know. But how will I run my life? Based on your life. Really, that's where the answers come. Whatever the construct of the doubt is, but it is a response of comes. It just does nothing but cleans up the doubt. Because your very nature is fully complete. You don't need a concept added onto your being for you to become a complete. What is an answer give you? It just gives you a concept, which hopefully is a Satsang answer or do the cleanup of other concepts. So just your light of your being can shine through without the obstructions of being something. Or these being something, these somethings are the vasanas. That is the identity condition. Father, is there something like deep-rooted belief? One says. Father, is there something like deep-rooted belief? I somehow got the idea that these need to be flushed out. So, there is a belief in deep-rooted beliefs, and therefore there can be a belief in being flushed out. But there is no power greater than your openness. In your emptiness, when you're open, all the cleanup. We can't even say it's happening. We have to say it happened. We don't have to do any benchmarking or postmortem or figure out how deep something is or how shallow something else is. Just leave it. Because even these thoughts, there is shaping can happen. You're still taking yourself to be an identity who can then have this particular affliction of deep-rooted beliefs. And that belief that you have deep-rooted beliefs could be the deep-rooted belief. Mm-hmm. Actually, behind this also, I sense that there's this trick of the mind which is saying, but it can't be that simple. What about my deep-rooted belief? In a way, it is like mind complaining about the abrupt end to this movie. Sometimes we watch the indie movies or art house movies, go on, suddenly they just come to an end. The mind says, what? So, in a way, most of our mental doubt, when I say truth is so simple, it is. What do I write in the last page of my autobiography? My autobiography was going so well. I had gone through all these challenges and I had these spiritual experiences and I had 75 awakenings. I was expecting a glorious ending. He says simplicity. You put the pen down, but then off. It's like when I went to Europe first time, um, I like I believed that I love cheese. But I walked into a cheese shop and I was impossible to stand there first time. It's just impossible. They say it's an acquired taste. I haven't acquired it yet. So it's like this. To expect to walk into the realm of the mind. It's like walk into a simple room. It's not going to. The cheese shop is meant that. Not that. Just drawing a metaphor. I want to live a perfumed existence, but I keep going to the shop of the mind. That doesn't work out.
So in this analogy, we should believe that the swimming in the so there is this feeling. I'm making it. I am the goal. I'm swimming in goal. I'm the goal.
Suddenly that escalated.
And that kind of expression, like this emphasis and this meaning and that I'm second I really suddenly this anxiety release, my shoulder heavy, and then immediately calm down. And it just arises again. It's just
Okay, so let's do live. So right now, empty is just empty. Not even swimming, nothing. Yes. Take me through it live. Don't give me a snapshot of the past. As something is happening. Tell me. That's it. Itching. Yeah. Let's start. So it's whether we call it effort or courage or devotion, whatever we feel like. Like it's just like this metaphor. The doctor has told you if you itch it, then it's going to get worse. So you can feel like actually the effort is in the itching, you see? But because the habit is there or the tendency is there, it seems like I have to go tie up my hands or something. So you can feel like that for a bit because the acquired magnetism of this mind seems to compel us. So you can feel like that. You have to come to this simplicity, to this naturalness. It can seem like exponential effort is needed, but you will see that all of that is also just is. What is the H actually? Can you leave your life unresolved? When I say your life is not a problem to be solved, what I'm saying, can you leave your life unresolved? Why am I suggesting this? Not because I'm mean or empty of compassion. It is only because there was no problem to start. Or do you want to keep solving non-existent problems for the next 10, 20, 30 years, maybe 10, 20, 30 lifetimes? Who knows? How many non-existent problems do you still want to solve? How much do you want to help the non-existent human? Decide. Even if you say, I want to help you for 20 more times. But I would say you start that journey after you give some water to that man and let it go. After you're able to give some water to that man standing at the door, then you can take on your problem solving for the meal. No man standing at the door. Suddenly there's no such meal that we are trying to have. Not even the meal that we are trying to bring to figure. The one that is ever free. The one that is not is not. This is what is called freedom in the world. And I really feel like I want to recommend freshness rather than stillness. Because many times I see that what you're thinking is that you're getting still, but you're actually getting still. You're just getting into some mode of imagination and this is what is happening to me, and even actually energetically it just takes place. Just be fresh. Wherever you were, leave that. You just be fresh now. Yes, fresh. Don't hold on to anything about it. Nothing. Yes. Because many times we confuse stillness to be holding on to something which it is not. Okay. Just leave. Don't conclude on anything. Don't try to experience anything. Even what you're experiencing, just leave it. All perception. Don't bother with anything. It's fresh.
You should have like an app for
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it becomes a constant, then you get used to it, like the airplane noise. And you have to create another app. From the snapping to the slapping. The past is only full of non-existent problems and solutions. Let's leave it. Nothing is afflicting or doing right. Forget it. Leave it. Just leave it. This is the thing. This is exactly what happens. This is the problem. See, he doesn't want to leave because he feels like he found some gold. See? The minute it escapes his mouth, he'll realize it's not gold. While it's inside him, he'll laugh. But I came to this great discovery when you said slapping. Oh, see? So you want to practice or still want to say? See? See, I get it out.
Just laughing, we get at the home.
Yeah. Get it though. If you have to come and leave your wife. It's just a habitual compulsion.
When it can grow fantastic it is. It's just for you.
Yes.
But inside it is too plain. You can't even talk about it.
The plane is also clean.
That is also true. So that is claiming is an
Nothing is an issue. If you take it seriously.
We started with spiritual materialism.
Yes.
Oh, this, so much joy, so much love.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Shusha.
Yeah.
It's full Shusha, right?
Yeah.
We thought we were sustained Shusha.
Exactly. Of all the fireworks and the lava and the place. Have some taste of that. I could live like that. I could solve my life. But these things are just like if you had a very beautiful something to drink, with beautiful tea, sweets, whatever you like, and then you keep having it. Sometimes soon you will want to return to just water. You have some water, the tasteless taste.
Any state of peace, sound, whatever. So the mind itself will come and say this is just inertia. And you can avoid that thought for some time, then it starts. How do you deal with this train? But it's a serious, it happens if we come to this world.
You buy the idea that it is just
Inertia.
what expand on inertia for a bit. Because
It's doing actually, this is not doing.
you're being irresponsible.
That you think you're peaceful.
What is the most important thing that you can do? The most responsible. Huh? There you go. The thing with our intellect is that it can stand up to its own scrutiny. You see? So, so no thought can withstand even the scrutiny from other thought. That's why this, when you start deeply looking at something, you quickly, that's why even things like the work by Byron Katie, what happens is whatever your concept may be, you can easily come to the opposite of it and see that the opposite is as true. You see, because neither are true. So, whatever notion we may be picking up cannot stand the attack from other notions itself. And that's why it seems such a suffering sort of position. You see? So, because if you buy into it, you're just sitting around. By the way, I said nothing about just sitting around. You see? So the mind will come and say, but you're just sitting around, why can't you do something? Make yourself useful, you see? But if you put that originally, just, oh, I should do something, make myself useful. But then explore further, then if it already feels like it is compulsive, then say, okay, how would I be useful? What is the greatest gift I can give to myself and the world? And you'll come to the same point. So it is just when we buy them midway, without even inquiring into the validity of them, that they can cause this trouble for us. How can you be the most responsible? Was Bhagwan responsible or irresponsible? Guruji is responsible or irresponsible? So, how is coming to this freedom irresponsible? See.
No, we know that, but my favorite debate is, you know, like, I'm not looking hyper.
Yeah.
And I know I'm being very efficiently and I'm doing
See, already.
But then the mind will come and say, look, what you never saw, I don't care. And after some time, why him? I'm looking.
This is the magnetism that I'm talking about. That we buy into that which is the most unbelievable stuff about us. And it is, Satsang is the antidote to that magnetism. So you're checking, like even you're simply checking who is being irresponsible. Simply checking, this is like an antidote to that. Are you certain you have this problem? It could just be.
Not really a problem.
We can't even confirm that, is it? Because we can hardly. How many moments can you remember from yesterday? Take a moment and see. How many moments can you remember from yesterday? Not too many, maybe 10, 20. So the mind presents a representation of you, that you are afflicted with this problem and it always comes. But do we really even know that? Maybe we are just free, but we use those tiny exceptions to still say, no, but it still afflicts me.
It is a trap of the ego. It leads you wherever you have these big muscles.
So this is the shape maker. It has these designated templates which it tries to keep using and make you into that shape. And this is what I meant by individual conditioning. That's why the answer can be different, because for another one, irresponsibility may not be a thing at all. They may not have that condition at all that they have to be responsible in a certain way. It's rare to find such a one in India, I have to say, because we have been fed with this strangely, because we are supposed to be the most spiritual country in the world, in our heads at least. But most of us have been fed with this kind of devotion. Do something. Don't waste time. help yourself, help the world and do something. You're being lazy. This- You're out of touch with reality. When you say to the mind, what reality? What is real? You say, start losing that. Okay, I'm going to be okay with it. I'll come back. So either let go or inquire. And if you feel like you can't let go of something, then inquire into it. If you feel like you can't inquire into something, let go. Between inquiry and surrender, you are taking care. It's simpler. We because we use terms provisionally like the magnetism of the mind, they can also be troublesome terms. Because you start believing that it actually has some power over being. It actually doesn't. The mind is completely powerless compared to your being. But it only seems as if it has some power. That's why certain words can also be tracky in a way. You can either just I mentioned like that a term like this, the gravitation of the mind, then tomorrow. Yesterday, the gravity of the mind was so much. You see? How much? What is the how much was it pulling you? As I said, that intuitive knowledge, self-knowledge cannot really be expressed. At best, this provisional pointing terms used to point you to look in a different way. And what is the different way? It is don't go to the top. You don't have to go to the truth. The truth is already what you are. Bhagavan said, you don't have to practice the truth, just stop practicing the forms. It's like
You say the point is master's point. So when we are talking with that point, it somehow connects it, and
it's somehow
somehow it connects like
better.
it's like it's giving to I don't know. I can call it meaning or something,
Yeah.
but it's somehow it's contradicting the point that itself.
Yeah.
It's also
It's beyond, I would say.
yeah,
It's beyond
it's
the
beyond
itself.
yeah, it's beyond the point. So after that, there is some tendency to indulge in the opposite way, something like that. And,
Take an example.
when these pointers really works, it seems like so many things saying in the satsang, it's not really direct, it's somehow
It's not
beyond.
true at all, it's just
Yes,
nonsense.
yes.
And I have no qualms in admitting that.
Somehow it's not the way,
Yeah,
and it is satsang also includes in the all way.
of course.
So it becomes stale after something because I'm all enjoying that kind of. I really like that all enjoying that kind of scenes. So it's
Too much enjoying.
that,
What?
that kind of scenes, like when that kind of scene happens.
Seeing?
Seeing. When I see
Yeah,
that
seeing.
kind of
Yeah.
play,
Yeah.
then it's
Is it like just like a word play, or is it What do you mean by play? When you see that,
It's
like you hear something and then you see that the opposite of it is also true, and there's a joy in that dismantling, like there's a joy in that dissolution.
the pointer is the way beyond
Yeah.
what it means, and also the satsang also as part of the play.
Yeah.
And after that, there's some kind of detachment from the satsang. So then it goes in opposite way. Means I believe I see that it's not true, that somehow I'm all indulging in the world or mind or something like that, and I have to see everything else.
Are you convinced you have this problem? Can sound like a super problem to have. And it really sounds like put some solid work into it. The play of these opposites, the attachment, detachment, all of this, coming, not coming, wanting to come, not wanting to. You don't even have to check on what is happening. You don't have to meet the doctor's report, diagnosis. Even if it is mildly complicated, but I'm representing my reality to you. You can throw a tantrum also, but I'm trying to represent my reality to you, just saying, are you convinced you are? It's not representing your reality. It's at best representing a tiny aspect of what seems to play out. So don't limit yourself in that aspect. Your life is much broader than that. And there's no problem ever. All problems are non-existent. My intellect doesn't mean that the play of life will be empty of the pain and pleasure. You can say the experience, but nothing will come. In the sense that nothing ever got resolved at that level of where we think it will get resolved. That's why I said, when we look back at our lives, you see that there is an intelligence that seems to guide us, and there's also like a conceptual idea about how things should be. And many times, like Guruji said, if you look back and look back at all the things you wanted, you are so grateful that God did not give them to you. God is not so unkind that He will fulfill all your desires, all that you want. What did you want when you were 15? Wanted life, here, wanted, of course, all that desire was there, materialism, money, to be a big software tycoon, all these. And you look back and say, so what is our prayer? What do you pray for? What you prayed for in the past, you realize that you dodged a bullet because it did not come true. let everything be that way, let everything be that way, whatever you do. The seeker is the strangest one. Strangest form of human existence is the seeker. What do you want? I want myself. Aren't you yourself? So, uh, what do you want? I want reality. What is that reality? That which does not come and go. Hello? Then how can you want something which always is? See, it always is. There is no wanting possible. So it is much stranger. So in spirituality, you must never be arrogant. At least if somebody says, I want $1,000,000, you can say, okay, this one followed by so many zeros, $1,000,000, this is what it is. But spiritual seekers are much sillier than that. And but surrounded by the belief system that they are the most evolved. If you chasing, I want God. Where is God? Everywhere. How can you want something which already is everywhere? We are having serious intellectual problems. It's a seeker. Serious intellectual. I'm going to call it mental trouble, but that's another connotation. So there's no room at all for arrogance. I want that, it does not come. Always is. I want to have an experience of that which is not perceivable. Because everything perceivable comes and goes. So what is the experience? We're full of these nonsense contradictions in marriage. While carrying that specialness about us. While carrying that specialness about us, we're full of nonsense. Non-existent problems. No real solution. It's a to let go of the problem.
He's not going to rest.
That's what I'm saying. Don't rest. Just keep moving. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Don't go to rest. Because many times what we think is rest or stillness is actually just like a state of stillness. Hang on to some old idea. Like I've been saying, we miss fresh God. Fresh God is here. But we are hanging on to some mental idea of God or some past experience. How many spiritual seekers say, like, I had this experience 3 years ago where I met God. Met God, and I just want that back. So what you're meeting now is not God? Right now. What is it? Fresh God is here, but you're talking about something stale from 3 years ago. fresh. Don't rest. Keep moving. You're resting. You're resting on that. I'm moved. Come on, let's move together. Come. You say I'm not able to rest. I'm saying don't rest. Come. Don't rest on
It's
that.
already not resting, sir.
Yeah, exactly. It should be easy. Easy. But don't rest that I'm not rest on I'm not able to rest. You're resting on that too much. Come. It's just as simple as that. But otherwise, the mind will keep tricking. You keep making a painting. This is what it should be. You say, okay, versus that, and is a problem. Really? See, there's nothing else. There really is nothing. The idea of this, a bird doesn't have it, a tree doesn't have it. Whatever benchmark we have, a little child doesn't have it. So to start this in this glittering ways. And so I realize that when I say don't bother with stillness, I'm aware of the annotation of that can seem very contradictory to what we learned, or what I've spoken about. But it's because of that. How many times I just see all of you going like that, and you look very still and nice. You look very still and nice, but the report that comes after that, you see, it's like you were just caught up in some past imagination or some benchmarking or some evaluation, intellectual thing. So now I've become very wary of this sort of outward seeming stillness, but inwardly just maybe. So I say, don't be still, stay with me, fresh. Stay with me. Close your eyes, that's not it. You'll still be fresh, but sometimes what happens is we get into close eyes. It's like the hypnotism. You're feeling close your eyes. It hypnotizes you. See what's happening. This is good, this is bad. You should be like this, you should not.
When it closes the eye, you get hundreds of thoughts like
Yeah.
this, like that. Yes. Or this is or the under maybe like one that is still like deep.
Yeah.
Is it like end of the day?
Yeah, one or two out of hundreds is like good. No, but what I'm asking is that, or what I'm saying in a way is that when you close your eyes, is it like the expedition to go and believe some thoughts, like which are the two I can believe out of 100? Then don't be still. You see? When you feel like this, withdraw, but you're not really withdrawing to our being, we're withdrawing into our mind. It's just like, okay, what are you saying? Yeah. Really, but outwardly. That's what I'm asking. Whether because if you're calling that stillness, then that is not stillness, that is stillness. Then stay with me fresh. At least when you come to Satsang, yes? Or you should actually make that cooking app.
has to be random.
Random. It's important. It's like random. Random sound.
Like random time.
Random sound.
Like once you wouldn't feel like a
Yeah.
pause.
Yeah. As we go.
Yeah.
Lots.
Don't misstretch God for anything, no matter how attractive it may be. Because God is not just in the realm of perception, it is that which is aware of the perception also. You don't have to work at it. Just greater than any experience, any perception, anything else.
Not the X-Men, which are not.
Spiritual compliments are coming. And you've been with me the longest, most consistently, almost every day since this time, since the last 5 years. He's given me a compliment saying, "You're not no longer just an axeman, you've become a butcher." Happy to. I'm actually happy to receive that compliment. Butchering the lies of the false representation. I was trying to soften the I received it as a compliment. Huh? Only to the Guru. Very happy for you to just feel any feel. For testimonials of the Guru, she's saying I'm the best butcher in the world.
Click Baba.
Click Baba. This is a song I used to hear when I was a teenager, maybe a little older than a teenager, which is called Cult of Snap. Somebody actually old to remember. So it's so funny that I used to joke like this. If somebody said that they have a cult, are we a cult? I said, yeah, we are the cult of Snap. And that was before the snapping started actually. We're really becoming the cult of Snap. What is the difference between a Sangha and a cult? The difference between a Sangha and a cult is the Sangha is driven by love, the cult is driven by fear. Sangha is driven by light, by just freedom of being. But the cult is full of indulgence. So there's a difference between reverence and fear. Sangha can have a lot of reverence, but that reverence does not come from fear. Sometimes in the outward expression it seems a bit like fear or something. In the Sangha there can be open communication. In a cult, something that you can't talk about. like they can say things like that's the other perception or something. So different in texture. Texture is very different. There's
And how do you look to that way?
yes, like they there's so much, people get very expensive like painting or something like that. But suddenly so much pain because I just use the support of one couch. You just lift the weight of the whole body and it is not. I'll deliberate about the strength of this hand. So much pain in this muscle. But for a while I would just feel like, my consciousness is just. But yeah, after the then my daughter, she did very nice some acupressure and things.
After that, did it go away?
Yeah.
Did it come out?
No, no. It went
Nothing?
away. Yeah.
Because she said subordinates.
Well, it seemed completely fine.
Was it? Gas.
Muscle. Yes, it's sitting ground. Then just use the one hand to sit. It's not that controlling. So what happened actually is that she was sitting on the couch and suddenly I got this pain and said, can I just sit there? And she looked very scared. No, she just left the whole couch in my head. She just got up. So I wanted to apologize to you later actually that I didn't mean to like scare you or something or just saying can I have some room to sit there. She said we've not really spoken in the past. So I didn't want her to feel like I was offended that somebody was sitting on the couch or something like that. So we'll come to all of this, so that means we have no question left in Satsang, so we can close it. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Baba ki
Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki
Jai.
Guru Kripa ke Thank you, my loves, everyone online as well. I realized the internet was not, but we'll see what we can do by tomorrow and try to fix it.